Hey, what's going on? It's me Mex, and I hope you're doing good, and today I will review Hajime no Ippo's latest chapter, which is 1400, so let's get into it. So yeah, like always, we carry over from the previous chapter, which left us off with the third round of Ricardo and Wally's match ending. And I kind of just wanted to point out how Ippo isn't really doing much in Wally's corner. And I really like how the beginning of this chapter foreshadowed how Ricardo Martinez would feel about Wally by the end of the chapter. Because Ricardo Martinez does know that Wally is dangerous and that Wally hasn't shown everything he has to offer just yet. And I find it kind of interesting how everyone considers Ricardo Martinez to be the final boss of Hajime no Ippo, however he's being treated as the underdog in this fight. But of course, like the previous couple chapters of this fight, Ricardo Martinez still doesn't have an overall idea on how to counter Wally's attacks. And the longer this fight goes on, the more I realize that Wally is the most animified character of the whole series. Since basically this series is mostly grounded in reality, but Wally's doing a lot of crazy movements, which is more anime than reality. Which, I don't really see this as a problem for the series as long as Wally is the only person to fight in this manner. And normally I would find Ricardo Martinez having an inner monologue in his head incredibly cool. However, this inner monologue was a lot more dialogue heavy and less analytical and more symbolic and metaphorical. Like, mainly Ricardo Martinez piecing together what Wally truly is in the ring is just kind of dragged on for a bit too long. However, Wally taunting Ricardo Martinez because Wally's winning is just incredibly bizarre. However, when Ricardo Martinez does end up turning the tide for this match, I would like a reversal of the scene in which Ricardo is taunting Wally. But that probably does seem a bit out of character since during this match, Ricardo Martinez has gained all the respect in the world for Wally. But before I keep reviewing the chapter, I think we should move into the predictions for chapter 1401. But before that, I got my last prediction right, so we are currently 7-3. But essentially, I think the way things are going, Ricardo Martinez will land his first hit of the match. But essentially, it will be more like a tap rather than a punch, kind of like how Ippo could barely land taps against Wally in his match against him. Alright, back to the review. Alright, so I really like this short flashback to seeing how Wally was introduced to Ricardo. It really did fill in an empty spot on why Ricardo Martinez would pick Wally over Sendo. And while we don't see Ricardo's reaction to the footage of Wally fighting, it is pretty obvious since Ricardo did choose Wally over Sendo. And the way the chapter ended was incredibly cool since we get to see Ricardo's resolve and how he chooses to just fight it out with Wally instead of worrying so much about his attacks. Also, Ricardo saying that he's going into the heart of the jungle while fighting Wally could also mean that he's going into the heart of boxing in this fight. But that's it for today's video, and I just wanted to thank everyone for 243 subscribers. I'm in shock that we managed to get 40 subscribers in 1 week, which is probably a new record for the channel. Which I'm very grateful of, and I'm also very grateful of the support on my last video. I would really like to hear any thoughts on the chapter or on this video, and on that note, this is Mex signing off. It's been real.